Ashitale. How's everybody today?
Doing best at summer.
Excellent, good. So we're going to have a very different topic today. We are going to be looking at neural function, basically how cells communicate with other cells.
Ta tira ibara ga su triya ge joshi te this mando achi chago yes the te kare na wansa ge thapong ge ro wansa thapong ge jeli ko la yes the te kare sena ga su thapong ko par la ya da understand ge me ko la ta yes.
And this is really important because through the nervous system, through the neurons, is how we perceive our environment, how we perceive all the cues, temperature, touching, even smelling or even seeing. These are all environmental cues, and that is how our body will perceive them.
That de ke chembu chago yore sta de wansa ge mala la tene de tenga su ge zubu ngoni baina chlo la yo pi gi thimba tang chlo la yo pi gi da de tang su ge chorba chi ge yore sta pi cha sha baina nga su ge chi raksha re thimala so pare zigla so pare te ta la tene de te tenga su choba de la tene de tenga su ge zubu ge da shilok ge da de ta ha ko chi ge yore.
So for the next few days, we're going to be looking at different systems, and for today, we're going to focus on the nervous system.
Ta ni man ni sumji la de ro de rin la nga su ge mala manda kha shi la ta ge yes ta tira nga su de kare ta ge yes na da wansa mala ko la ta yes.
But before we start talking about the nervous system, we're going to talk about your projects for day 7.
Ta tira nga su wansa mala ko la ya mata ngo la ya nga su kar chi ge yes na ane chechu nima dumba gi nangla ro nima thamatela chechu lecher chi dugu yores ote ngoto chi yes.
So you may recall last year when we were teaching, we did not give you an exam, but rather you all performed different projects.
Ta chechu tamba su yo ba na nanyalo la nga su thamatela jikto tang yo mares ta jikto ga sabla kare chi yores na ne chechu samala ya ane lecher tina manda dubki chi yores.
And I think, and even talking to Chris, the other co-instructor from last year, that worked really well.
Ta nanyalo la ya chechu ge chi zenda na le che de pate pe ya bu chon so sangarang la tin da chor so tin na sing ge nanyalo ge zenda thiro ge Chris nyam ta ke che che tam bala ya ngara ni chalen do pat thumbo ro chi chechu ge te ya pu chon ta le che te ya pu chon ge do su ti chon so.
So for day 7, we will not have an exam.
But
rather, each table, each group will give a 10-minute basic scientific teaching on an individual project, on a different topic.
Tade kharchigure system balaya jikto me bache nima thamatela ya ne rukhare re ngone senrik joji cheta bachke korlaya ne kamachu ni chunga parotela ya zinde thegu yores.
So each group, your objective for now will be to select a topic that relates to organ systems, and you're going to teach it to us on day 7.
Ta chechu ko karchi gore senarwa su re kha su ngone thia ge josh ke dam go yores damya ting achu wampu mala kola damya inswa wampu mala organ system te kola dam dete nyama dumbatela ya ani zanda thegu yores.
So even though you don't have an exam, you will still get a grade because Kelsey and I will be listening to your project, your presentation, and we're going to score you. We're going to give you a grade.
Ta chechu dela ya ane jikto yo mare simba na ya chechu ge thamatela ya zanda thi tamche chiwa dela ya gen khesi tangara ni ge dus chechu tamche chiwa de nyen ni de ta dela ya dus ja chatre ins.
So just like last year, the total points that you can get for your project, your presentation, is 50 points.
Ta nanilo na chipa chichanche chechu ge tandagi lecher de la ya ane thobia ge jacha mangshute ka su chagres na jacha ngas thamba chagres.
So there are 5 pieces of criteria. The first one is clear educational goal or desired outcome.
Ta de la ya ko jacha tesa te ko kasagore ta te chache ma sonarwa chachin shasanga yes ta tangbo de la ya chesu lonchen te tripi ge kapsi baina shiyen tan devi ge mugi tang yana chesu la thama de la yin din trimdi din ro chi thongu yo se te khaseu yo metres.
The second criteria is you're going to show clear scientific topic on the topic that you chose.
다 니바데 카레스 스탐발라야 초롱고 조시 담바데 아니 천르키 조시데 카세우요메데레스
You're going to choose a teaching technique, either one that we have used, or even from last year that you may have remembered, or even one that we haven't used that you're going to use with us.
아하 다 되게 제라야 카르고그레스 스탐발라 혼센트리아게 트탑데 아니 카세우고네 동고고요레스와 다 혼센트리아게 트탑 시스템발라 지치르바이마 단당가 수근 진짜 트피카스 템바레 야나로 ngomalaya 템바레 진타나네로와 양마나 딱 가수게 때문에 바인바네 제수게 젠다 산이 장야로 지네 딱 지만보 연거와 돈스리아게 트텝 어디 까리 페치탄 거 요파네 티 카세우탄 거요레스
We're going to score you on how clear the information is, and does the presentation flow smoothly.
아하 다 제수가 센터 집이 값서 센터 티 카세우요메다 네 고렌드 보요메 지거로 왔고 구츠가 릴하우요메라 테르데타나 자차테인스
And also, very important, you have to stay within the 10-minute mark.
아하 다야 개체 휴직가를 시스템발라야 현대 단다 제수가 센터 지야데 까마축나 사바치구고요레스
So when we score you, we're going to start a timer, and we're going to keep track of how long it takes you to finish your presentation. It should not go beyond 10 minutes.
아하 다데 카르세스람발라야 까마축으로 라티아레스 다 제수가 담시데 구주바네 가수치조 가게인스 네 가수친 루구도 타게인스 까마축리 마와 제수게 네 트나디고요 마레스
So for each criteria, you could see on the top, you can get either 0 points if it's not shown, 3 points if you are somewhat showing with, partially good work, 7 points if it's fully shown, or 10 points if you do an excellent job on showing that criteria.
아하 다 단다데라야 차체만도 nga요와 차체만도 nga텔라야 아니 콜라야 자체 토통가 아름바 시유스로 당보텔라야 무기 촌니 만드바체 로텔레 촌니 만드바나 자체레 코레스로 아니 디스 인드바이바나 자체 숨체 아니 코 차츠 드바이나 자체 숨체 아니 카사 데 무기 딘 드바이바나 자체 든체 카마든체 아니 타마텔라야 아니 무기 티페창 하차 락포 건 드바이바나 자체 추요레스
So as you present, we're going to be scoring, and depending on how many points you get, that is going to be your score out of the potential 50 points.
아하 다 단다 델라테네 데테르와다 데가나 체수게 탐치 지비 값스로와다 데이터 시샤다 리리리라 차치네 리리리리 간라야 카리라포테 타마돈 데테 아네테 자차테 자차 가치그나네 카소치라요 메테 차그레스
And what we'll do today is I'll ask someone, one of our fellow monks, to translate this to Tibetan, so you can all have it, so when you are working your presentations, you can follow the criteria on the rubric.
아하 다 테라임 바나가 선델라야 쿠쇼치라야 단다 델라야 가츠 무세르무치도 아데 포이나 줄구치기 인스 디스탐발라네 제라 체수게 나비 값스디 포이나 텔레 줄 사바치가 인스
Any questions?
드라이오스
We're good? Okay. So, for the next 15-20 minutes, you're going to work in your groups, you're going to choose a topic. Kelsey and I discussed this, you should be choosing a topic that is related to organ systems, right? Perhaps we may have spoken about them briefly, but stay within the topic of organ systems, the heart, the liver, or even cell types, okay? Do not deviate from those topics.
아하 다 단다 디제라야 까마춘네 중앙의 파르텔라야 체수그두스 루카나라야 트리더치아레스 트리더치데테 체수그 레처테 가레가 드브그 요메게 조지 체수그 다메레스와 조시테 당기게 캐시 당가르니 슈바나신체 아니 wampu mala kola degu yeswa wampu mala kola ya de aresta ti ne yang chi chrola manchar biches bisha chapaina nyre chimbala sopa ge wampu yorwa otita kola ya chi de ta ne tilin deba ge joshi madam roches wampu mala li debi ge joshi madam roches
I suggest when you choose your topics, make a list of the top 4 or 5. Why? Because there are 9 groups, and perhaps a group before you will choose your topic, so you can go to your next topic.
나하 다 양코 조시티 트레더 집에 값스 아니 제수게 다 트니 드야게 조시 신의 응아치 들어치스와 때 가르친 라바임바네 게테야 저런 게 넬로크로 카치게 저런 거 조시티 집바치찬 담샤나 네저 땅포테 마라바임바 니바티 두스다메요라스
And the reason we do this is because we do not want to repeat the same topics.
아하 다 데이터 지야게 전센데 가레 시스템 발라에 조시 치라바 집바치라야 쳇드메와 이체도 인스
We good?
Yes, sir.
Good. So when you finish choosing your topics, remember when you're home, when you are out of the classroom, start working on your topics. You could do a poster, you could do a presentation, you could do a dance, anything, right? Anything that is within the 10-minute mark. It has to be scientific, and you have to show us that you spent time on your goals, on your technique, and on the topic.
Ta tanda di mbana tambu de la ya ta joshi te tembe chi chanu go je la ya ani zanda trebe ge je la che su joshi te gang la ya ani tati na ro che is ro ta zanda thya te che su chi pa na je yi nga su ge je ri yo ra je shi poster zuna de ko res je shi zuna de ko re tin an sing ge de la ya nga su ge lokton yen ri yo ra powerpoint te zuna de ko res te mna de la ya chapter thave go nga la china de ko res ta te che su la karma chu na la ya sanri tan thembe gi joshi te dus tang go yo res ro ta nga su la khar chi gi sen na thama de la ya ani karma chu na la che su den zanda trip up se zanda gi chalo ne che su ti chu tang de di ko de la tradi chi ba chi ro nga su la go yo res.
On the morning of day 7, the first sessions, you can still work on them. You should have already done most of the work. We can help you finish them, but they have to be done by the time we go to lunch.
다 되게 가서 니마 타마 되게 쇼파인 바이나 최초가 차마 지금 다 차고 요래스와 시점지 차고 요래스와 시점지 차고 요래 임바나야 다 고텔라 타마텔라 양식고 조치자고 한다고 때려도 임바이나 니 쇼파텔라 양아 속에 디스 타마텔라 라파창아지 지게 인스와 다 지고데 가르에서 스타발라야 니마 덤바데기 닝고 셰랑올라야 차창와지 르고 요래스. So
on the third session after lunch at 3:30, we'll come in and we'll start working on our presentations, and we'll start hearing the presentations from every single group, and there are 9 of you.
다 연권 잡기 니마 담마되게 연권 잡기 소당 좋습니다. 체크는 좀 비값은 아수들라 루커고요. 루커 구차게도 담시 제야디 아니 난게인스.
Good?
Yes, sir.
All right, so start discussing your topics, start choosing them, talk about it within your groups, and in 15 minutes or so, we'll start making the list, and we'll make the list, we'll have it translated, and we'll post it so you can all see who is presenting what.
Tata de la roa, kama chuton chunga nalo la roko la ya, Twitter chiro chi, sta Twitter chino ge je la ya ngasuge, Twitter chi joshi kari chigi yeme ta te la ya, ani ko tablen kari peche tang ge yeme la Twitter chi go do a, tablen ti chiro chi, tat de ge kama chunga Twitter chano je la ya ngasuge rokha su su ge josha kari resha, josha te the la ya tablen kari peche tang do, de chama de la ya trige yens, tat chino ge je la ya, ne ngasuge joshi de gang la ya rokha su ge
So we will need your topic and also the technique that you are using for presenting your topic. Okay? Get to work. Start choosing.
Oh yeah, that didn't notice. Ready?
All right, my friends.
Oh yeah, let's go.
So you're probably wondering, how are we going to choose the order for the groups to choose?
다시 쓰기로 delaya rokos samalaya joji damguji stambalaya tate kuramdo kandas chigena samchide ukires.
So you all have a number that I gave you. That will be your group number. Okay? So now we're going to choose the order in which each group is going to decide their topic. And as the group tells the topics, Kelsey will write them, and these will be published on the classroom, so you can always refer back as to who is teaching what.
다 방던 땡케 치는 거 질라네 루카레레레 수수 저지티 담 그러와 담는 질라겐 켈스라게 단다디 코 카사야 코레 센티티 데이터티 단다 구글 전다나 샤그레스 아니 테 값스 치수 참하게다 수기수 루카 관계 치기 저지 치라바 관계 치콜라 탐치는 거 요바 참마 통트 그레스 Yes sir.
Good. So, I need a volunteer.
당랑 치고 yes.
Anybody? Pick a number, a secret number, coming up.
Yes, sure. Master,
No, in the back, coming up. Yeah, coming up. You can go next. You can be the second one. Okay? Not yet. So, there are 9 papers. Choose one, and this will be the group number that chooses first.
Tatne anta chi damgres tinana rukha ga anta te yores ta rukha anta te bana rukha te ge ne joshi damyares.
All right, so open it up, and you can tell us what number it is. So you can say it. That would be 6. 6.
Yes.
So you guys will go first. So what topic are you choosing? Thank you. Topic. The cornea rod function. Excellent. Very specific, very good. And what technique are you doing?
Tatela ya thabna kare pechata e bes. Take the activity where? It's activity?
But what activity are you choosing? What technique to teach this?
Yes, they will use the 5E model.
5E model, perfect.
Yes.
From last year, excellent. 5E model.
They will.
Thank you. Give her a round of applause. Excellent. All right, next. It's like a game, right? All right. 2. Give us 2. 8. Who's 8? Okay, stand up and tell us your topic and your technique.
Ngazugi diche digestive system.
Digestive system.
Digestive system and technique.
Thablen kare pechata e besa.
Ngazugi korangzula ani remote chine ni
Drawing. They will ask them to draw.
Drawing. Perfect. Thank you.
That's all.
Excellent. Another volunteer.
Jenda chi pero chesa tanlanche.
Coming up.
Takut tangpo dame imbarta. Number 4.
4. Group 4. So topic and technique.
Joshi dan tablen.
먼저 제제디 기법 말라
Chipe mala reproductive system.
기법 말라 기법
Chipe la reproductive
Chipa.
system.
기법 말라
Chipa. What's called that? The skin or the.
integumentary
Tegumentary system.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Tegumentary system. Skin. Excellent.
Integumentary.
Very good choice. Very good choice. What technique are you using?
먼저 미기 탑된 신이 모르시
Role play.
Role playing. Excellent.
Chipa mala.
Thank you.
Chipe mala ko skanda.
Another volunteer.
Jenda tanlanch perochis. Ta shoda person shoda shaja.
Coming up.
Napa ya chada emor. Smacha ma tampo len tampo. Tampo. The door is square.
So if we pay him, he gets to choose any number, right?
Kula kongo chena ko kare damjan roasa.
Ooh. Drum roll. 2. Thank you.
Yes, yeah.
So the
Respiratory system. Excellent.
technique.
technique, the drawing.
Drawing. Okay. Excellent. Very good.
Yeah, that lunch fish, another walnut.
So we have 5 more.
That could that tampo layers. Tampo.
Okay, drum roll, drum roll. 5.
그렇게 하려셨는데 달래절래.
So nengo mala golin ra.
Nengo mala.
Tini chapten dan tini da dane.
Immune system.
Immune system.
We
Excellent.
use role play.
Immune system role playing. Excellent. 4 more.
That's how the lunch. That's a color.
He's ready to go.
Because it's hard. That's it, sir.
Ooh, drum roll. You wanna yell it? You wanna yell it?
Number 7.
7. Excellent. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, juicy, this all is
So topic and technique. I feel like a game show host right now.
난주 주제도 뭐지야 땀 잘도와 땀 난주 근데 난주 왔자 말라
nervous system.
내려선스
Teaching that today. Should we allow it? Let me concur with our judge.
Yeah.
Should we allow the nervous system? Do something that I did not talk about. We'll allow it.
당에서 코지말라 나게. 코지말라. Immune circulation system.
They will do the circulatory system.
You can do, let's challenge you. Let's challenge you. You could do the nervous system, but not something that I talk about today. Okay?
That disarwa. That's it. So it says like
Okay.
1 minute.
So yeah, you could do the nervous system, but choose a subject that I did not cover today.
This is once you taught that they say they will choose the circulatory system.
So they rather do the circulatory.
Imbe, question mala disarwa. Tanda nengo mala la chigi imba na gelai tirang matho wachen gira gi tirang dinang la ya ta tirang gelai te gonza mala ko thyer doa de tan dewa me chu jenda chi thegu res ta tanda che chu ge da khorcho mala song ba ta khorcho mala na ra.
So you choose the circulatory system, not the nervous system? Yes?
This yeah, circulatory
Okay,
system.
technique?
Thablan kare peche tangai besa. Group discussion.
Group discussion. Excellent. There
Champu.
are 3 more. Who wants to come up?
Yes, sir. Just Champu task kutela.
Number one.
The tambal lema se ko go layers.
1.
All right. Excellent. So topic.
Insulin and glucagon.
인슐린 and glucagon. Insulin and glucagon. Insulin and glucagon.
Glucagon.
So
Okay. Insulin and
Glucagon?
yeah, glucose. Insulin and glucose. Okay.
no.
Glucagon.
Yeah. It's
Perfect. Excellent. Good.
Thala method.
Method, technique.
PPT. Presentation. PowerPoint presentation. PPT.
I cannot. Oh, PowerPoint and what else?
PowerPoint ta tam karo ta jenda.
So like a PowerPoint discussion. PowerPoint discussion. Okay, excellent. Good choice. Want me to do the last two? I can do the last two
Yes.
to make it very intense.
담아대.
So which ones are left?
Three
or 9?
Yeah, 9 list.
So how much money does number 3 want to give me for you to be the next one? 1,000 rupees?
제스를 타지마들 단다라 당구시를 제스 가서 싶어야 인사.
Drum roll.
가서 싶어야 인사.
3. So topic.
Endocrine system.
Endocrine system.
Namimala.
And technique.
Active learning.
Active
learning.
Activity.
No. Active learning.
Oh, active learning. Okay. Specific active learning technique?
Record some active learning raya.
Because they're all active learning, right? They're all active learning.
Role play.
Role play. Excellent. And of course, last but not least,
Number 10.
we all know what it is. 10. 9. Okay, so topic.
nganzu topic didisha lower than asama jawatan tiel the lung landed lung
The lung thing, the respiratory system, they say the topic will, they will talk about the lungs and asthma.
Asthma. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Asthma. Really good. Technique.
ani technique the PPT that role model role play
Role play.
Role playing. Okay. Excellent. So just remember, you have to provide some type. So we have chosen our topics, our techniques. So just remember, you have 10 minutes. You have to provide some type of presentation and include your technique to teach your topic. Okay?
다 단단히 송아스탄데 데라야 치수게 수수고 조시티 담세 차레 조시 담차와 간실레 조시 담야티 조시티 트랙 체트 아니 그 탑란 카리 페쳤던 거 요바얀 제순데라 코토 치샤요레스 다 치수게 수수고 담야게 조시티 간라야 까마쭈나라야 아니 그 담시 지구고요레 담시 지르면서 단다 체수 세샤주고 탑스티야 페쳐 당고고요레스 그래서
So as you teach your subject, we'll be sitting on the back, timing you 10 minutes, and scoring on how well and efficient you do your presentation.
Tate karchigure system balaya chechung delan gender traffic ups nga chuimbana jalwa de deta niko chisoti ka deta chechung gender ti kanda yago thsonte laya jachate yes.
We good? Excellent. We're looking forward to seeing you all present.
Tachechu samage jelaya gender ti tribalaya nga so riguchi de yes.
Good. So for today, as we cover our neurons and the nervous system, we're going to essentially start drawing and modeling the function of the nervous system cell, the neuron.
Ta tiranga so gender traffic ups so de nga so wansa malak nane so de tanda wansa trazuki jelly kores ta jelly ko traffic ups nga so wansa trazuki jelly ti remote ya gongo ne dus somberchigins.
And as you will learn throughout the next few hours when we learn together, you will see that neurons are actually quite complex.
Ta tanda nga so ge so khasish kana la ya chesu dus wansa trazu ko la remote presentation dus jabe kaps wansa trazu ti ko nyonjon chenge thapon bas ti chesu ge tokres.
But again, these are the cells that allow us to observe and interact with our environment.
Tade tangi shubana jere wansa trazu kusu ge chele ka reses tambalaya chigu khori ti chorpa chiwa ta chi khoi la yan rewa chigi chini ge da tongpa chini ge thapon tu res.
And for the afternoon, pass me the hammer. For the hammer? Yeah. For the afternoon, we're going to do a lab where we're going to assess the reflex technique on 5 different kinds
aha ta yengkong jab la ya nga chu takshe gin zenda ti kaps kari chigin sena nga chu ge tanda ge dongul se churwa dongul te la ya takshe chigin sta dongul te mandawa nga gang la ya rwa mandawa nga gang la tas mandawa nga tang de dongul ko la takshe chigin.
So you will all learn how to give the reflex and how to feel the reflex. So you'll both give it and receive it.
Aha. Ta tanda tege takshe te kapsa chetsu kare hakugre senarwa tanda chi donggu sayate donggu ti chung chi ala kana do chi drib gu yo meta ani susu gong la ya donggu ti chong pa ba na chro kana do chi yo me chi korwa tege nyamnya ni cha sagai ge ku ke de yes nyong ko jabla.
Any questions?
So chong sa draw ayo sa.
Excellent. All right, so for today, we spoke about our subjects for our day 7. We are done with this. We're going to talk about the different parts of the neuron. We're going to describe the role of the sodium-potassium pump in the action potential of neurons.
Ta tirang bana ro nga su tirang ge tirang gol hamsen thya mu ikare yin system bala ya thampo tela yin ma dumbala ya chele kare chi cheku kare chi dugu yo meti tanda nga su sabres ro ta tige jela ya thampo tela ya nga su kare chi gin sena wansa thaz ki chashi ke chi something reshe chi yins ni tige jela ya tanda sodium to potassium ge dich to ka julam chi to ka oti kare ke chi mu mon kon reshe yins.
We're going to basically talk about and apply the interaction of different molecules across a neuron membrane. Now, we have already discussed polarity, and that becomes essential for interaction with the cell.
Ta dada de kas shemba bana nga sugerwa thapung ko chimu jile deti ani ko data la so pa kandas drugu yo meti ko la ya de jagi insrwa ne dina ni chi jenda te kare ke chimbu chako re system bala ya nga suge deseta jeyo mare sani ton demba polarity se ko ni ton demba system bala ya chidu gi manyo la tene de ni ton demba charge korwa oti ko ke chimbu chagi yes.
We're going to learn how neurons connect with other neurons and other types of cells.
Ta de shenda nga su kare se chigin system bala ya wansa ge ne wansa thezu chi te wansa thezu shenda chila ya kondo kanda thak yo meta wansa thezi te ya thapong rig shenda la kanda sndewa thak yo metin de jais.
I'm going to describe the 3 neuron pathway, the different kinds of neurons that are used for us to sense environmental cues. Pain, touch, sensation.
Ta shenda nga su shenda kare tangin system bala ya nga su ge ta chi kasugre ta nasik chwa ta yana raksha ta dewa ta shenda nga su titak ta dewe ge ane chi thamba tong tong ta wansa ga na kasa wansa ge julam chi gorwa thamba tong tong ga rig man ro sum chi go res te tala ta ins.
And it's important to remember as we go through each day of our topics, I started talking about, for example, interactions in the atomic level. Kelsey has spoken about the development of tissue, right? They're all interrelated. And for example, you can learn the development of early neural tubes in embryos.
Ta tanda din stambala nga suga joji chitapa mambuchi thuku yorda imbana joji chitapa du chitsuga yang chin draw yo pati dus thont kres picha chapa imbana nyima ta chila yang suga dotheng ko paro ga graduate ko la desh jayo res ro senda chi imbana nga suga ta therapy ko la kiche shon stambala yo thumi ge niram la ya thapung kanas drugu yo meti ko desh jayo res ne tin nansing ge senda nga suga neurotube system bala ya tampu nga su wansa ge ten ta wansa bugu ses to ti yang ko therapy ge niram thuma tilaya kandas drugu yo meti to en ko ji dus dewat yo res.
So what is important as you take different classes and learn about different topics, always reflect on how they connect with each other.
Ta tin stambala ya chetsu ge chi thonse mando lengore joji mando lengu yorda imbaina thamatela ya ani chi joji cheta batsu dewa kandas du se tila jachisan ni samnu ta ke shemu chag yores.
Good. So let us begin.
Tango zugis.
So we're going to talk about the nervous system and interaction with the neurons.
Da nga suge wansa malata wansa trazu par dewa kola deshi jagis.
And of course, the most important component of the nervous system is the brain itself.
Ta wansa malak na ne ku tripche ke chishite le pachag yores.
The nervous system contains of many different components, but of course, the brain and what goes below it, the spinal cord, and all the different nerves that branch out of it.
Ta tanda dirwa nga suge wansa malak sista balaya zote lepa cherwa ni tiki jilaya lepa gi jalo na man ko tanga nga su jongpa te cherwa ani ti shenda nga su yang ko tili ta jongpa ta lepa tane ku khatam bi wansa mambu chi garwa te to sama na su yores.
And anytime you're thinking of the nervous system and you think about the type of cell that makes up the nervous system, we're talking about neurons and those cells that interact with those neurons.
Ta ga su wansa mala ko ke che stambala ya wansa mala te tripper chia ge ko thapon chito patela ga su samlo ko gres thapon chito pate ga su go wansa thazu che tanda de kapse wansa thazu ta ane wansa thazu ti ge wansa thazu ta shenda paro la ya dewa chi ge jing la ya ko rokpa chi ge thapon kha chi orwa o te to sam ko gres.
Now, how do we distinguish between the two different portions or kinds of nervous system? We have the central nervous system and the peripheral nervous system.
Da nga su wansa mala ke che bikap se nga su wansa mala ke chi iwa su anyi chi ta gres chi ka res system bala wansa ti mala ta sende te tang ko wansa mala res.
When you think of the central nervous system, the components that make up the CNS or central nervous system, we have the brain and the spinal cord.
Da wansa ti mala ke chete ka res system lepa ta jompa res.
And when we think of the peripheral nervous system, we have all the different nerves branching coming out of the spinal cord.
Da nga su ke tang ko wansa mala ko la ya samle tang pick up se jompa ni khat tram bi go wansa chama chu ku yores.
So if I was talking about the nerves in my arm, am I talking about the central nervous system or the peripheral nervous system?
Ta nga lapa ka la yo pi go wansa ko la ke che pick up ses ngarang ge wansa ti mala ko ke che ko re tang ko wansa mala ko ke che ki yorwes. Peripheral.
Peripheral. Excellent. Good. How do we feel sensation? And that is really an important question, really for the survival of any organism, right? How do we interact with the environment? How is it that we are able to touch and feel?
Ta de ka sanga su ge chi wansa malak na ne ba na ga su ge chi kandas chorgo yores wa ta khoi kana ne chorwa tong khoi kana ne khoi ti ta nyam su nywa ti kanda do chi ge yores ta dewa te kanda do chi ge yores te ta ta wansa malak na ne ta ko ke chi wi ge ne ten sha ge yores.
So you see here, this person has pricked herself touching a rose. Has it happened to anybody here? You touch a plant with thorns, ouch, you move the arm away. That is a feeling that is based on a neural perception within our body.
Da de ge rumu de ga ta pa ba na de ge jase mi to chela lokpa chang ka se ne zumu ga la ya khar sa ta ko charma ti su je de ko tha to ba chi tu ko dis tam ba la ya de ka re se tam ba la ya ko nga su ge jase mi to ko lokpa che de ta ko charma la tene lokpa la ma ju tam ba la ya lokpa te chlo theng ge yorwa ta de to la tene de te ko ge na ju ti chog yorwa o de ta nga su wan sa ma la ji chi chog yores.
Or even touching something hot and you pull your arm, or perhaps even something touching that you enjoy and you feel pleasure by touching whatever entity you are interacting with.
Da yang te na sing ke te chorong ke chau chi la rak pa ba na la pa chau cha pe kap sa la pa chlo la the la su pa yong gores te na sing ke ya ke te chorong la ga ya ge cha la ta khare ba na te la pa chau pe kap sa ya te tan drevi ko chwa chi chong gores.
So for example, when you think of the reflex of pulling away when we sense pain, right? Well, this person may have touched the rose. There is a sensation which is part of the peripheral nervous system. It's going to interact, it's going to send that cue to the spinal cord, right? To the motor neuron, which is part of the peripheral nervous system, and it's going to make that muscle contract, therefore saving that organism and alleviating that organism from pain.
Da de ka se karchi gore system bala ya lopa la ma ju bi kap se ane ko lopa te so thank you ra ta de kap se ge donggu ga samle te tang bai bai na tangpo te ko lopa ga tele ma ju wa se ko ta charma ti su bi kap se ti ge da ti nga su la ko tang gore se na lopa ju de te ta de la tang gore swa nga su ge jompa la tang gore ta jompa la tang be kap se jompa ga na ne ta go che wan sa tha ji ke ko da ma tang de ta lopa de du thank you re ta the bala te de te nga su ge ka su ta nyen khale yo wa ta ta chi kang now,
this is important to note because this is considered a reflex arc, an involuntary motion.
Denga suge tandaga dongguti samlo tangpe kapse dongguti samlo tangpe kapse di baina kasata di kasanga suge donggu kurang ge yang julam chigorwa tele samlo tanggo gore tan denga suge di resta ranggu ge guchu tanggo resta chetu goe mai ba ranggu ge pechu tanggo res.
So as you will see, we have this sensation, it gets sent to the core of the interneuron in the central nervous system, which is of course the spinal cord, back to the muscle. But the question is, what is it bypassing in this particular sensation? What major organ is being bypassed?
Tanda de kasimana rwa tanda de la taba imbana chesu de la taba imbana ko nazi tinzumu kono chorchi de la ya jompa lando jompa ne ga suge onsa tiu malak chashi chi tukku yorwa ta tene yangshe ga su de la ya prani onsa thazu ji de ta yangshe gocho onsa thazu ji de te ta yangshe ga su la pade sho thangi chi ku yorwa ta de kapsi imbana ga suge bypass system balaya te gauge into go resta pecho tango yo maris tarwa pecho matang we ni tang ching go resta tanda ge de kasa dongun de chong pe kaps pecho matang wa ge ni tang te kare pecho tango yo maris
Is bypassing the brain, right?
Ro tanda ga su ge le pate gauge into go wa ko pecho tango yo marwa.
So as you may have felt in previous experience, if you touch something that is painful and it gets pulled away, let's say boiling water or even a thorn, we tend to make this involuntary motion before we feel the pain, right?
Tanda de kasanga su donggu segure chitsola rak patang yang na tanda ge charmala rak pick up sanga su lapate shaja khur thangi yorwa ta thenya ge donggu dis gucho dis ro nazuti lepa ge machur go ngolai chungu yores.
So it is only after where the sensation gets sent to the brain that we perceive, oh, that hurts, that is painful. But that is beyond or after the fact that our body has made this involuntary motion, which is really fast, and we normally cannot control it.
Tata de kasu karsu se tambalaya ane kasan ta donggu te chongnu ge jelaya lepa na neta chi nasik chi chorgo yorwa nasik te chorgo yores ta tin tambala tanda ge donggu te ngasu ge chit gua tin da mares ta ko involuntary su da ta ko rangu res ta ame te chonggo yores.
So let's talk about how different neurons function. We have the sensory neuron, which is, if we go back to this particular event, the sensory neuron are those neurons that essentially select and perceive the stimuli from the environment. Example, touching the thorn of a rose.
Ta tampo ngasu ge karsa wangsa thezu ki yuala taba imbana ngasu la wangsa thezu kari ores na tampo te la ya wangsa thezu res wangsa thezu kar chi gores tambala ya cholo la yo pi gi chen te ta choba chini te res ta lenye te res chen te ton zanye te res ta tandan de kap se imbana picha shapa imbana jasimi tong la yo pi gi charmala rak pi kap se ta chi choa chi garo na zu choa ge thezu ti cha gores.
In this particular event, we have the sensation and we have the movement, the retraction of, in this case, the bicep, right? But we have a motor neuron which is responsible for contracting the bicep.
Ta danda de ka sim bana ro tampo te la ya nga su go wonso thazila tene dete chawati ya legi or wal hebala tene dete ani te jela nga su motor neuron ro tanda guchu wonso thazila drugu yo resta wonso tanda wonso thazu dige tanda ta nga su ko pongko nya song sa chto ti ta nga su dige shadum dirwa imba na tanda dige guchu tangi chini gi ta wonso thazu te kare se na ani guchu wonso thaz cha gores.
So essentially motor neurons control whatever muscle is either relaxing or contracting or moving as a consequence to that environmental cue.
Ta danda nga su guchu wonso thazu sa dige kare chi gores system bala ya shandrum gi shane ge ro shane ge guchu te la tang chi gore changkum guchu la so parwa changkum guchu la so pati khoi ni chongwi ge ku ge kuchen la tan de ta ku ge yalen te ge ro.
And of course the bridge between feeling that thorn and moving our bicep is found within this portion, which is in the central nervous system, the interneuron, which is the bridge between the sensory and the motor neuron.
Ta danda nga su ge choro wa tang kumba gi yalen chite chi goro ten che baro la ye thukwa jang te kare system bala ya nga su pen wonsa thazu cha gores pen wonsa thazu te ka la yore sena tanda de ka sanga su kars jompa te wonsa ti mala ro ti ge tup cha cha gores te kare chi gores system bala ya wonsa thazu na ni chimban jo wa ti la chimban jo wa ti la ya ta yalen che te nga su ge guchu wonsa thazu ji la yalen te go ya ro o ten cha ge baro la ye thukwa jang ni res.
So these are the three types of neurons. Now I do put here, these are electrically excitable, meaning that a cue that we get from the environment, a sensation, is nothing but an electric current being passed down from neuron to neuron.
다 단다 데카서 강라 가르치는 발라야 아니 차폰 데이터 단다 가서 원서 찾을래야 넘버 숨게 네타 쉐기 돌아와 데이터 lokla tene dete ko tangashiti lon chukre segurta te sesha yoresta te sede kare system balaya ta ko nani thamba chiya ma chinru da chigorwa thamba duate kare sana lokda tin dua khuna res.
And later today we're going to learn how that electric current is formed, added and passed from neuron to neuron.
Ta tanda tira ngaso ge tira jam ka sa kare jang ge system balaya tanda ge lok jun su go ta lokda tanga ge lok jun tong lokda te tangpo te la ya ani ka su gre kandas trugo yo pata te ge jela ya ani ko ka sa wansa thazu chi jin wansa thazu chi jin kandas phas le tanga yo mete ta yes.
And beyond the three main neurons, we also have glial cells, which allow insulation and messaging from neuron to neuron, and even later today we'll have an activity to visualize the consequence of having a glial cell interact with a neuron cell.
Da tanda de sendati kare system balaya wansa thazu ru zu sumyo padiga galaya tanda gesture thapon sayatiya yores ta te ko su kare chigre system balaya chine ani ko tan gesture thapon te ge once thazi la ko ge ka su gre papa ge ngu la tene se ko ra ta thum jaga ga ngu la ya ani ko ge ka sa chelin dong go yores ti ma se ani tanda dila tene de te once thazu fencing ko paro la ya drewa ta ya la se ko ra ta ko dat phat su tong ya la pheng yores.
We good?
Yes sir.
Excellent. Basic structure of a neuron. So the main portion, you could also hold the hub, is called the cell body. This is normally the largest portion, and this can actually vary from neuron to neuron, but let's just say we have an average. We have the largest portion of the neuron where we have the nucleus, and this is the portion where we start adding all those perceptions from the environment. It's going to send all these little perceptions, sight, sound, feeling, and they get added up within the cell body.
Once a tazu mandala and the Yanko Chichunga Sopa Yobel, Chibu in Banichi dress. The once a tazuki, Kono Trapungu Luis Adekares Tambalaya, Nikoini, John Vigi, Dagiri or Watangasu Tonare, Tuare, Ravala, Sopagi, Roasola, Sopagi, Datipa, Tangsagi, Tinitichagures.
And branching out of the cell body, we have all the dendrites. These are the components, the little branches that start to perceive all the sensation throughout our environment.
Tanda diri bayna rawa tanda thapung luni khat trambigi ko yanla nyangla mampuch ko resta dikare system balaya dalen satin res rawa dalen satin tige kare chigo res system balaya ni chalola chombigi ko wansa thamba zusra lengi res.
Right beyond the cell body, we have the axon hillock. This is an important component where we have the addition of all those currents, electric currents, to see whether this is a current that will be passed down to the neuron or whether it will be cancelled and not be shared.
System as a hillock like the Dela in Bananga Dashin Satringa that under the hillock lana, patient danger workers could some which to that Dela the Dick Kitchen Buchago race, the Kitchen Buchago Yopa, Dashin Satring is some of the Karchini Kitchen Buchago race system Balaya, Kuranga Trapungo Lila Yopi, Datanti Kanza. If we do have
a strong enough current, and I'll talk about this later, if you hit the threshold, it gets sent through the neuron down the axon.
The local jungo is the chalola tened tanko, Trimbatan Reviga, local junti, the co, take a lacan lepa in Banas, or the coge, say long way at each gepa in Bana, Kachigres, and a coga Duchess Satin Julieta, and a co matangres.
So that excitable neuron will send out the current right at the branches of the axon, what we call synaptic terminals, which attach to either other neurons or motor cells or other types of cells.
Tanda de kasanga so da che satin juli tambi ki thambate tanda ga su ku thunsam ge nimush towa thunsam ge nemote juli de te ani khari chigre sena yangna ga su ku wasa ge chasu shenda da yamna ga su ku guchu go thapong yorwa te ta yamna ya ti thapong ge jenda la ya ko da te tang yores.
And the telodendrite are the little branches right at the end of the axon which physically connect with other cell types.
Tanda de kasanga so ge da che satin ge nimuch yorwa tanda thunsam ge nila le chu nyangla ta yala te kanza ne thapong ge jenda la ya ani ko thuku yores.
So, in your groups, you're going to do a set of drawings. There are 5 drawings.
Tanda che chu rukhana la ya ta remote ya ge cheguch yes.
As you will see, we have multipolar, unipolar, bipolar, pyramidal neurons, or Purkinje neurons. They're all different. They all have different functions.
Tanda che chu rukhana la ya remote ti kapse che chu rumo nga trugu yores rumo manda nga trugu yores wa ta remote ka system la ya tampote la ya nema wansa thazuche ti jila nichi wansa thazuche ti jila ninja wansa thazuche te ola ya turju wansa thazuche ne thamate la ya Purkinje wansa thazu ring manda nga yores ta data che chu remote trugu yores ta kola ring nga yo pate la ya ko ga yibta manda che tinashan ko chu ge jeliya manda yores.
And if you think about the interaction between form and function, since they have different functions, they're going to have very different forms.
Tanda de tribe kapse kari samne tangore system balaya khusu ki kopa tang cheli kola samne tango yores ro khusu la ya cheli manda yo system balaya khusu ki kopa ya manda yores.
So before we go into break in a little bit for the next, I would say 10-15 minutes within your groups, research these neurons, draw them out, and understand their form and function.
Tanda de kasanga su socha parsang ma to ngwe la ya kama chi chunga chkana la ya chi su rukho ngone ani taja gang la che de te ani data ke de ko onsa thazu manda ngando wa data ke ani kopa kare rendo jeli kare rendo data kopa ta jeli paru gan draw kare rendo o data che de te ani remove roches.
And think about where in the body would they be found, because they are found in different places.
Oti nasing ke kari samla tano chi sena tanda ke de la ya wansa thazu manda nga dowa wansa thazu manda nga te nga chu lupu ke chashi kawa yore te kola samla tano chi es ro kusu nga chu lupu chashi manda la yore es.
Good. Let's get started.
Oh ya da unzi tano chi es mitzim masorinas.
Thank you for making the list.
I transcribed it into the version that they have.
Oh, wonderful. Excellent. Thank you. And that's the one. A little bit, so let's take a quick break. We'll come back in 30 minutes. We'll start discussing our neurons, and we'll talk about the charge of the neuron.
Tanda socha person lete dos tak tanga so person tangye so socha che kambat kangla tsu changkang ra chi che phero che es ne socha person chanu ge jela ne nga so ge tanda kasa wansa thazu ta ne wansa thazu gangla yo pe ge lokhur ko la ya dos tude chi gi yes.
So have a good time. Enjoy your break. We'll see you in 30 minutes.
Kama sumchi ge jela jay ons.